discussion. We'll start with our prayers to offer to Lord Jagannath, Baldev Subhadramaya, Sri Sintai Gaur Chandraji, Sri Ramandev ji, and all the Vaishnavas present here. Om Adnyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatale Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasika Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So discussing on the chapter Dhyana Yoga. Of the Gita. Bhagavad Gita 6.35, 35th shloka. This is one of the important shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Manodurnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena Chakruyate. Translation. Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So we'll see by the purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So here in this chapter, as Krishna, Arjuna asks, Krishna explains everything about the Ashtanga Yoga Paddhati and all the Dhyana Yoga related things. And then Arjuna considers that how it is in this age or at that time also it was difficult to control mind. So Arjuna find it difficult that Dhyana Yoga process, which is explained by Krishna, Ashtanga Yoga Paddhati, which is explained by Krishna in this chapter, was difficult to practice. So Arjuna was asking, like, what is the this Ashtanga Yoga Paddhati you told me, but I am finding difficult to control my mind. How I can focus and all the other whatever the process you have told, how I can practice that. So Arjuna becomes bewildered because of that, and he asks a question again to Krishna in the last verse 6.34, that Chanchalahi Manak Krishna, that is the famous verse of Bhagavad Gita, Chanchalahi Manak Krishna Pramati Balavadridam Tasyaham Nigraham Mane Vayorivam Sudushkuram. Means I can control the wind. Arjuna is a great archer, and he is telling that I can control the wind, but it is difficult to control. For me, it is difficult to control the mind. And Arjuna is asking such question. Then what is the where we like? So Arjuna, who is a great archer, he is not able to control his mind. He is asking the question. Like, of course, he is asking for all of us because he considers Bhagavad Gita is spoken to all of us through Arjuna. So he is asking for benefit of all of us. Yes. So Krishna in return, he answers in this verse to the Arjuna, Asamshayam Mahabaho. Start with Asamshayam Mahabaho. He is calling Arjuna by two adjectives here. Mahabaho. Mahabaho means, oh mighty armed Arjuna. Is asking, Krishna is calling Arjuna, oh mighty armed son of Kunti, Arjuna, and in the second line it's calling as Abhyasena tu Kaunteya. So see, when Krishna uses some words, it is with a very meaningful. And Asamshayam Mahabaho Manodurnigraham Chalam. Yes, oh mighty armed Arjuna, It is undoubtedly, yes, assumption. It is of the restless mind. Yes, it is correct. But it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So how Krishna is calling him as a Mahabahu also, and uh, Kaunteya also. So the difficulty of controlling the obstinate mind as expressed by Arjuna is acceptable by the personality of Godhead. But at the same time, he suggests that by the practice and detachment, it is possible. So he's asking, he's calling Arjuna, yes, Mahabaho means, oh mighty armed Arjuna, you have a very great power in your arms. You can control the wind, but yes, I can accept. Yes, I agree to your point that it is difficult to control the mind. But it is possible by practice and detachment. He's reminding him, oh Kaunteya, why you are worrying? Why you are worried when there is hurry? Like that Krishna is telling that, yes, you are son of Kunti, Kaunteya, you are son of Kunti, you are my nephew. So I will take care, don't worry. Like that Krishna is giving him the hope. Yes, it is not so difficult. Uh, yes, it is difficult to come, but when I am there, it is possible. So how it is, we'll see in this purport, how Prabhupada has given uh, the elaborate description in the purport. What is that practice? Here Krishna is telling, Abhyasena to Kaunteya. What we are doing regularly? Regularly, we are telling that yes, to perfect practice, practice makes man perfect. Yes, this that proverb comes from this sloka only. So practice makes man perfect means what? So our Krishna only tells, yes, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha guhyate. So practice and detachment. Practice and detachment, with the practice and detachment, it is possible. So what is that practice? In the present age, no one can observe the strict rules and regulations of placing oneself in a sacred place, focusing the mind on the super soul, restraining the senses and mind, observing celibacy, remaining alone, etc. So those are all the things which Krishna has explained in the Ashtanga Yoga Paddhati. But here it is too difficult. Everyone is, yes, are you able to find it easy? Yes, to control the mind for 2 hours of chanting, is it easy? It's very difficult to sit at one place for 2 hours to chant. Yes, nowadays it is so many responsibilities and so many things in the place of in the name of responsibility. We because we drag so many things, and because the age is also like that, we can't just claim because of for our failure only. But yes, we are not determined. Yes, we are not focused, and it is difficult. Arjuna is also telling in this presentation, Prabhupada is also telling his presentation is difficult. Yes, it is not easy. Even though acronym for this chapter is easy, Dhyana Yoga, given by Mahatma Prabhu, but the controlling the mind is difficult. It is not easy in this age. Focusing mind on the super soul. Yes, now just few years back, some people have done survey of how much time a student can concentrate on one thing. Like a healthy student or healthy person, how much time he can concentrate on one thing. So that result was maximum 9 minutes. So that is the age of Kali Yuga. How it is like 2 hours of chanting and all will take place. So the first and foremost, yeah. So by the practice of Krishna consciousness, however, one engages in 9 types of devotional service to the Lord. So there are many angas of the devotional service. In that, main 9 processes are there: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. All those 9 processes of devotional service are the main angas of the devotional service. And the first and foremost of such devotional engagement is hearing about Krishna. What we do, why we hear every day, why we have everyday class here, because that everyday hearing, that is nothing but a practice. Practice means what? Which we do every day, every single day we do that. Like if you see a cricketer, then he will go for practice every day. He will not miss the practice because he want to excel at the time of the match, exact match, at the time of final match. So when we want to practice or when we want to win at the final, we will practice every day. So this is our practice. By practicing of Krishna consciousness, one engages in nine types of devotional service to the Lord. The first and foremost is hearing about the Krishna. This is very powerful transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. So what is our problem? If someone is say, see, many people or many transcendentalists, many spiritualists, they say, yeah, every problem solution is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, this is one kind of solution. Yes, if we find any problem with our mind is not able to focus. We find sometimes at least I find sometimes because of many other things, I find it is restless. Mind is restless. It is not able to focus. It is like we feel like my mind is taking me away from Krishna. So it is very difficult to focus. So that time we should understand, yes, we should do? We should hear more. We should hear more from our spiritual master, from the Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's tape recordings are there. And we have the technology. Yes, utility is our principle. So technology we are using in many ways. Like nowadays we are having a class on Zoom from many years. In lockdown also we had so much of like Zoom has benefited a lot from the devotees. So the more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. So we should understand, if we are not able to focus on Krishna or Krishna conscious activities, means we are not hearing enough for our mind to get focused. So by detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can very easily learn Vairagya. So by detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, we are, see, our focus, we just want to shift. We just want to shift our focus from material activities to the spiritual activities. So when we just shift the focus, then we can able to control. Vairagya means detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit. Impersonal spiritual detachment is more difficult than attaching the mind to the activities of Krishna. Attaching is easy, but detaching is difficult. So therefore, they are telling us, see, bad habits get quickly adapted, but to have a good habits, it takes time and it takes more energy. This is a practical because by hearing about Krishna, one becomes automatically attached to the Supreme Spirit. So how we can be attached? See, it is simple as that. When we hear about Krishna, we will get attached to Krishna. When we hear about any one personality, we will get that attached to that personality. So how the Rukmini got attached to Krishna? Rukmini never saw Krishna, never saw Krishna before when he came to kidnap her. So just by hearing from the Brahmanas, Rukmini got attached to Krishna. So we also will be get attached to the Krishna. And when we hear more about Krishna, automatically that attachment will come. So this attachment is called Pareshanubhava. More once one eats while, spiritual satisfaction. It is just like the feeling of satisfaction a hungry man has for every morsel of food he eats. So when a hungry man eats, with every morsel, he will feel nourished. He will feel, yes, stomach is filling. Oh, after fasting, just 2 days back, we were having Prabhupada appearance day fasting. How we felt, yes, after every morsel, feel like, yes, some energy is gaining. So the more one eats while hungry, the more one feels satisfaction and strength. Similarly, by discharge of devotional service, one feels transcendental satisfaction as the mind becomes detached from material objectives. So when we hear more about Krishna, we'll feel that satisfaction because mind is getting nourished. That, see, that therefore our soul is part of super soul, we say, na? So that soul's food is hearing about Krishna. We give so many things to soul. We give this luxurious car, luxurious bungalow, so many luxurious activities we want to give. We want to enjoy the things in this material world, but that is not the food for the soul. Soul will not be happy. Therefore, people are most richest person will be unhappy in this world. That's why they are feeling unhappiness, because they are not giving the proper food. Proper food for the soul is the hearing about the super soul, the supreme person. When we hear about supreme person, when we hear about the Krishna, then only soul will get satisfied. And as like a hungry man, when he eats, with every morsel, he feels nourished. Like that same way, our soul will be feeling nourished when we we hear more about Krishna. Similarly, by discharge of devotional service, one feels transcendental satisfaction as the mind becomes detached from material objectives. One more satisfaction comes because we are detached from the material objective. We don't have that worry. We will only think about Hari, Lord Hari. Hearing, okay, it is something like curing a disease by expert treatment and appropriate diet. So curing the treatment is chanting everyday practice. That is a treatment. And our diet is hearing more about Krishna. So when we eat like that, we should hear. So when we hear, our stomach should be full like that. Hearing of the transcendental activities of Lord Krishna is therefore expert treatment for the mad mind. And eating the foodstuff offered to Krishna is the appropriate diet for the suffering patient. This treatment is the process of Krishna consciousness. So it is very easy process. Therefore, the acronym is given as easy. Hearing of the transcendent activities of Lord Krishna is the expert treatment for the mad mind. And eating the foodstuffs offered to Krishna, whatever we eat with the that food stuff which we prepare at home, we offer it to Lordships, and then we have it as a Mahaprasad. So that is the simplest process of Krishna consciousness. And with this process of Krishna consciousness, practice every day. The practice is important. We will go back to Godhead in this lifetime only. So it is possible. Prabhupada told that yes, it is possible to go back to Godhead in this very lifetime. Yes, when we are confident enough, when we have that humility also, then with the blessings of the Acharya, senior Vaishnavas, it is possible. Yes. So thank you very much. We'll stop here for today. Anyone wants to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I please say something?
Yes, Mata, you can add. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. As Prabhu says, Rukmani heard from the Brahmins and she wanted Lord Krishna. So the source is very, very important, from where you hear and from whom you hear and how you accept the Lord. Ramna heard from his sister Surpankha and he had a lust. The source was wrong, the feeling was wrong, and he became very, very lusty. And he took Mother Sita, treated her like a lusty object, and then what happened? The whole war was fought. Ramayana, Lord, he abducted Sita Mataji, whereas Rukmani got Krishna as her life partner. So we have to be very, very careful from the source we hear. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mata. Yes, that is very important point. Thank you for adding this point.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity. So, you all are very lucky. You're connected with the Parampara and you're connected with Srila Prabhupada. And we have such wonderful devotees who's giving you all classes. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, it is very important to hear from the bona fide source, bona fide scriptures. Yes, thank you very much, Mataji. Added very important point. I missed that. Thank you very much. Anyone else want to add anything, please? So we stop for today. Thank you.